Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another Logan Blackman Show YouTube video. This is not, I don't know why I'm starting off so cheery, so happy and all that great stuff, because we are here to talk about the United States men's national team and their start to the Gold Cup against Trinidad and Tobago. The game will be taking place on Sunday. This is not the most, I don't know why I'm as excited as I am. This is the first time in a long time where I'm like nervous going into a tournament. Like, I'm usually somewhat optimistic. I'm usually a pessimistic person when it comes to my teams, but for the United States, I'm always like, oh, maybe they could do this, maybe they could do that. Like, you look at the Copa America, like, you go into that tournament, you're like, hey, they could make some noise. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and win the group. I had Uruguay winning the group, but you're like, okay, they could put up some good performances. They can easily get 6 points in that group. I mean, it's Panama and Bolivia. No offense to those guys, but that should be easy. That should be easy to get some points in that game, in those two games. But they didn't. So then I'm like, okay, well, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, Mauricio Pochettino's coming in as manager. Okay, this is very exciting. You look at the Nations League. They're in the semifinals again. They're playing against Panama, a team they just lost to. Yeah. Hey, you guess what? This is the Nations League. The United States runs the Nations League. They dominate this tournament every single freaking year. I think they won like 3 in a row. Like, this is so awesome. And then you lose to Panama. In such a disheartening fashion as well. And then you go into the next game against Canada, and you're like, oh, okay, well, hey, so, you know what? They lost against Panama. Panama's had their number. We got the Gold Cup, Copa America, this Nations League. Maybe they just got the number. But then Canada beats you. Canada. And you're literally sitting there, you're coming in 4th place in this tournament that you have won consistently. This is your tournament. So now going to the Gold Cup, you're like, okay, this is a tournament that the United States, again, it's the United States and Mexico. Like, you look at throughout the history of the Gold Cup, there's only one other team that has won the Gold Cup other than the United States and Mexico, and that was Canada back in 2000. Like, this is the United States thing. This is the United States and Mexico will go to the final together. Yes, this is not a great time for United States soccer. Yes, the squad's not as great, but we've seen the United States bring in weaker squads to the Gold Cup before, and they've still been able to perform. You look back at 2021, that squad wasn't the most strong squad in the world, but they still went out there and they won the damn tournament. Like, that's what we want to see. Like, you might not be the best squad on paper, but you got the heart and the drive, and you're good enough to get that over the edge, even though you're around a C team, maybe a B- team if we're being really nice here. But then you look at the friendlies. You look at the friendlies against Switzerland and Turkey, and you're sitting there, or Turkey, whatever they want to call it, and you look at those games, and you're like, this is shit. Like, you look at the Switzerland game, or the Turkey game, the first game. United States scores first. Jack McGlynn fires in a shot. That dude has got a freaking rocket attached to his left foot. That dude loves scoring screamers. He cuts it on the right, pass from Malik Tillman, cuts it on the right, strikes it with his left. Just a beautiful, beautiful goal. You're like, okay, that's the best way to get started here. And then Johnny Cardoso, I don't even know how to explain what that goal was from Arda Güler. Like, Arda Güler, great player, great young player, great talent. I shouldn't say great player yet, but great talent. But I think you could have hit anybody and they would have scored that goal. I don't know what the hell was that goal. And then they go on to give up another goal in there as well. And after the game, Tyler Adams like, you know what, I'm proud of this performance. This is a good performance. And you're like, if we want to take positives, possibly. Like, you still lost to Switzerland 2-1, and Johnny Cardoso gave up one of the worst goals I've seen in a United States game. The only other one that I could think of that was as bad or like as comparable was when Mark Ter Stegen was the goalkeeper for Germany when they played that friendly prior to the 2014 World Cup, and he let a back pass go into the goal. That was about the worst goal I've seen in a United States men's national team game until that one. And then you go into the game against Switzerland, and you look at the squad, you look at the starting line, you're like, it's okay, it's changed from the previous game. You got some debutants in there. You got Paxton Aronson's in the squad, Quinn Sullivan's in there, Sebastian Berhalter, Nathan Harriel. Like, you've got some new faces in there. Matt Turner's back in there. He's the captain for the game. You've got Walker Zimmerman and Mark McKenzie, an experienced center back partnership in there. Maybe not together, but they've had a lot of games together with the United States men's national team. And you go out there and get skunked 4-0. You give up 4 goals in 36 freaking minutes. That is the most embarrassing game I think I've ever seen for the United States. Like, we're at a point now where that game, it was a friendly game. We're looking at this game meaning more of like I don't think morale has ever been this low before. Former players calling out current players. You have Landon Donovan and Christian Pulisic going back and forth. You have Pulisic's dad messaging, like, putting chat GPT on Instagram and saying, hey, you don't have the balls to stand up and talk about it. You better start saying names. You have Tim Howard saying Christian Pulisic's DMing him and saying, oh, you crossed the line, say my commitment's underway. And he's like, oh, we're not sub, but you're DMing. Like, This whole thing is a mess. It is an embarrassment on every single front. This is not youth soccer. I thought we got the youth soccer thing done after the 2022 World Cup when Giovanni Reina and his parents were trying to blackmail Greg Berhalter. Like that's where I thought it was like, okay, now the childish stuff's out of the way. Even Christian Pulisic was like, oh yeah, this is very youth level soccer here. But no, we're still in it. We're still bickering. We're still mad at each other. And you have a game like that against Switzerland where you absolutely shit the bed and played terribly, and you make 4 changes at halftime, and yes, the game improved, but at that point, what does Switzerland need to do? It's already 4-0. We don't need to try as hard. So, yes, you can look at that and go, oh, well, you didn't give up as many goals in the second half. You still played like shit the entire game. The entire game was a massive shit sandwich. That defense stinks. That defense is so unorganized every single time I watch them play. Max Arston is a solid left back at club level left wing back, / left midfielder for Columbus Crew, but that dude doesn't know how to defend. Like, they're pretty much playing a back 3, and he's playing up by freaking Brian White the entire time because he doesn't know how to track back, so he's losing people the entire time. Matt Turner's not very good. We've known that for a while now, but now it's starting to become really annoying. Matt Freese, who's challenging Matt Turner for the starting spot? Is it Stefan? Is it Freese? Is it Brady? Is it Koshin? Who the hell is challenging Matt Turner? Because someone needs to challenge him. Someone needs to do this because this is terrible. This is just absolutely abysmal. That back line, they have I don't know what it is. You look at even the Nations League games. Game against Canada, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Mark McKenzie looked lost the entire game. You look at the game against Switzerland, Mark McKenzie and Walker Zimmerman looked lost the entire time. Nathan Harrell did not do anything of note except let people run by him the entire time. It was just so disheartening to see a performance like that. And they're like, oh, Paxton Aronson and Brendan Aronson are the first brothers to play each other for X amount of years. So naturally, well, yeah, they were also the first brothers to get pulled at halftime because they're down 4-0. So this is just a big mess of everything. And you can look at like, well, there's no heart in the A team. This team has heart though. Yeah, but they're not good. They're not good. And I don't think Mauricio Pochettino has any idea of what his best team is. And we're talking about the A team, B team, C team, D team. Like, at least there was some cohesion with Berhalter and BJ Callahan where it was like, oh, we know what the MLS players are. Mauricio Pochettino has not been to a game. He's not talking to anybody. That's been, like Christian Pulisic said it the other day. Serginho Dest talked about it. He's like, I haven't talked to Mauricio Pochettino until I got to the camp. Like, what? I brought this up before. After the Nations League 3rd, 4th place loss to Canada. I brought this up before where it's like, does he know what this is? Does he know what his responsibilities are as a national team manager? Like, we've talked about Nathaniel Brown over at Eintracht Frankfurt. When's the last time anybody's talked to him about converting the United States? Because the United States left back options outside Angie Robinson are trash. They're terrible. Like, that's the long and short of it. I'm not trying to be like over-exaggeratory or anything, but these guys, we don't have another left back. We don't have another left back, and you can't tell me that Alex Freeman, whatever, he did whatever against Turkey. Harriel's not good enough. Joe Scally, is he really worse than those two? I know Alex Freeman's more of an attacking option on that right back spot, but Joe Scally, you cannot sit there and tell me he's worse than that. You cannot tell me that Josh Sargent, I know he hasn't scored for X amount of years for the United States men's national team, but you cannot sit there and tell me that he is worse than Patrick Agyemang and Brian White. I thought we were done with them after the Nations League. I literally said after the loss to Canada that I don't need to see Brian White again. I don't really need to see that. And when we were doing the Gold Cup preview video, I talked about when they lost to Canada in the semifinals, which who knows if they even get to the semifinals at this point. But after that, when I said they lose to Canada, I was like, I don't know where the goals are coming from. I really don't. I have no faith in Patrick Agyemang or Brian White. Haji Wright, is he going to play as a striker, as a winger? That's going to be an option there. Damian Downs, he looked good when he came on as a substitute in the game against Switzerland. Came on in the last 15 minutes or so, and he looked like the best striker the United States has at this camp. Diego Luna's a good player. Malik Tillman's a good player. Luca De La Torre, I thought, played well against Turkey. But it's just so disheartening to see games like this. And I don't, like Christian Pulisic doing the whole interview with Charlie Davies, Tony Meola, and Jimmy Conrad. What the hell was that? Like, I know you were like, oh, I got to defend myself. He's like, well, I still don't need to defend myself. Well, why are you doing this then? Why are you doing this? No one needed an explanation for this. If anything, you're pissing more people off by talking about this more. Just let it go. And the whole Instagram post thing got people all riled up. It was like, just with their doctor ordered him, he was on vacation with his girlfriend or something like that. I can't remember who it was. It's just so annoying. And he talked about Mauricio Pochettino. I wanted to play in the 2 friendly games, but I didn't want to play in the Gold Cup. Mauricio Pochettino said no. And he's sitting there like, oh, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get that decision. It's like, why are we creating the divide between the manager and the players? Like, the manager, I don't want to say over his head, like this is some massive job or anything, but a year prior to the World Cup, you thought the United States would be a little bit further along than this. He doesn't know any of these players in the MLS. He doesn't know who his B team is. He doesn't know his best starting lineup for his A team. So this is just, everything's just constantly coming together like this. And this Gold Cup is a chance to hopefully right the ship, but I don't know. I'm not sitting here like the most overly confident person in the world. I'm just insanely frustrated. The defense, again, I'll reiterate, the defense is not very good. Matt Turner is not very good. Hopefully he does well as if he gets a move to Leon. Hopefully that pen hit paper before the game against Switzerland the other day, because good Lord, if I was Leon, I might want to pull away from that because good God, you don't want to see 4 goals in 36 minutes. That's not great. It's just, I don't know. Mauricio Pochettino's lost 5 games. He's lost 4. Well, he's lost 5 games in a row technically because remember, he was the manager for the KSI versus Chunks game a few months ago. So he's got 5 losses in a row. He's got 5 losses to the United States in 10 games, which is fantastic. And people are talking about like, oh, Morocco fired their manager prior to a World Cup and they ended up finishing 4th place in the tournament. Is the United States in that spot where we're really sitting here going like, Mauricio Pochettino needs to leave? I don't know, because again, it was too late for him to start. Like this whole thing could go back to like 2022 when you sat on your hands the entire time with Greg Berhalter. Like, I don't know what we're going to do with Greg Berhalter. Are we going to bring him back? Are we going to sign him? Are we going to let go to someone else? You sat on your hands too damn long in that. You got grouped in Copa America. Now we're in this situation where we're a year away from the World Cup and we're further away than we ever have been as a nation for the national team. And I just keep saying it, so disheartening. So the Gold Cup's a good way to start it off. Hopefully he figures out what his best 11 is in this tournament. I have no idea what that is. I don't even have a real guess of what the starting lineup is. I'm going to try and predict it, but I have no idea what we're really looking at for a starting lineup. But for this game, in the first one against Trinidad and Tobago, this is a game the United States should win. Somehow the United States is the 16th ranked team in the world. Don't know how the FIBA World Rankings work. I always had a gripe with those, but somehow they're 16th. Trinidad and Tobago is a calm, cool 100. So that's cool. So the United States could have, I don't know what the gap between, was it Belgium and Slovakia back in the Euros where that was the widest margin of teams? Could this be the new widest margin if Trinidad and Tobago beats the United States? Let's not entertain that option. But it's scary. It is scary. It is a little scary here. We're looking at this game against Trinidad and Tobago. We talk about Dwight Yorke as manager for Trinidad and Tobago. The experience as a manager, I think, is important for a tournament like this. I'm not sitting here going like, oh, Trinidad and Tobago, they could have appointed Pep Guardiola and they would have won this tournament. I don't know if I would go that far, but that experience is important because this is his first real managerial job. And Dwight Yorke, legendary player, obviously with Manchester United, won a treble in 99. Great player. Love Dwight Yorke. But I'm intrigued to see how he manages this team going into this tournament. They're coming off a loss to Costa Rica where they lost 2-1. But they do have some fairly solid players that have been in and around the national team for the past few years now. You got players like Levi Garcia, who got the lone goal against Costa Rica. You also got Dante Sealy, who also scored 2 goals in the game against St. Kitts and Nevis. I was trying to remember who was St. Kitts and Nevis. So they did win that. I think he's lost 3 of 4 or something. I can't remember what his exact record is, but Dante Sealy for Montreal Impact, 2 goals, 2 assists this season so far for them. You also got Kevin Molino, Jovan Jones, Alvin Jones, who got a red card in the game against Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken. You've also got a Johnny Fortune from Atlanta United, who can play on the left or as a center midfield spot. Trinidad and Tobago kind of plays either a back 5 or a back 4, and they play 5 in the midfield, so it kind of rotates between the two, but you usually see like Levi Garcia as the striker. You'll have Kevin Molino in the middle. You'll have Fortune and Sealy on either side of each other. You got 2 young wingbacks in there as well. Like you got Rio Sardinas, who plays as the right wingback. He's 19 years old. He plays for Crystal Palace under 18 squad. You've also got an experienced goalkeeper as well in the form of Marvin Phillips, who's 40 years old. He's got 93 caps to his name. So this Trinidad and Tobago team, again, they have been together a lot. They have an inexperienced manager. They have a young manager in Dwight Yorke, in managerial terms, I guess you should say. But this squad has been around together. Like Kevin Molino's the captain. Jovan Jones got like 97 caps to his name. So this is a squad that can cause the United States problems. They might be ranked 100th best in the world. The United States might be ranked 16th. But we've seen this story before. The United States has lost to Trinidad and Tobago before. The last time the United States and Trinidad and Tobago played, Trinidad and Tobago actually beat the United States. But Trinidad and Tobago hasn't kept a clean sheet in 9 games. So if the United States is going to discover who their goal scorers are, this is a game to do that. And this game is not really one we see a lot of draws in. Either the United States or Trinidad and Tobago either win or lose this game. The last draw came all the way back in 2015, so 10 years ago, which is insane to think about. The 2015 was 10 years ago. But this is a game the United States, I would hope, that they're able to navigate through fairly easily, or not, maybe not fairly easy. I don't want to be too like, oh, the mighty United States, stuff like that. We're way past that at this point. Sucked in the last Gold Cup, sucked in the Copa America, sucked in the Nations League. I can't really sit here and act like the United States has some divine right to be one of the best teams of this tournament. I should not be talking like that. My apologies for that, but Trinidad and Tobago, no disrespect, the United States really should beat Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what the score will be. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. Yeah, this is, again, experienced team, has caused the United States some problems before. Let's just see how the United States navigates through this. And as for a starting lineup for the United States, you look at the end of the game against Switzerland. They play with a back five. Tim Ream came on at halftime. You brought in John Tolkien as well to play left wing back. So that kind of shifted things up a little bit, but I do still think that Mauricio Pochettino is going to line up with his preferred 4-2-3-1 formation that we've seen him run at every single club he's been at. Like, you look at what he did at Chelsea, even moving Cole Palmer into that spot. You got Tottenham in there as well. Southampton didn't really do that at PSG, but his other clubs that he's been at usually runs that 4-2-3-1, so formation we've seen a lot for the United States as well. And I think another problem with Pochettino at this point is that he's trying to pigeonhole players in specific spots. Like, the whole right wing spot is very controversial in my opinion, like who they keep putting out there. Like, Tim Weah has been the United States mainstay at right back for the past however many years now, and we're putting him over on the left side because we got to play Pulisic in the 10, and then we're looking at somebody like Yunus Musa or Diego Luna on that right, and it's just, it feels like we're just trying to pigeonhole someone into that spot. And so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see when the A team gets back together. But looking back at the starting lineup again, 4-2-3-1, Matt Turner's going to start in net. He was the captain of the United States against Switzerland. Again, not the biggest fan of Matt Turner. He's not in the greatest form for the national team, but we don't have really anybody else to really supplant him at this point. Did Matt Freese do enough in the game against Turkey to supplant him? Maybe in some fans' minds, but in Mauricio Pochettino's mind, I don't think so. And on the right back spot, I'm going to put Alex Freeman back there. I could see a reality where Miles Robinson plays there. We have seen Miles Robinson play as that right back spot before under Mauricio Pochettino, but I do think Alex Freeman is the most natural right back at that spot. And you're looking at the center back partnership. Chris Richards has to be one. He was the captain of the game against Switzerland. He's the best center back the United States has at their disposal. Whether you're talking about A team, B team, C team, whatever, Chris Richards is that guy. Again, the captain, he won an FA Cup with Crystal Palace. He will be one of the starters. And then next to him, you can throw anybody. You can really throw any. I wouldn't be shocked if Tim Ream wound up being the starter here, but I do partially think that he'll wind up going with Mark McKenzie. We saw Miles Robinson partner Chris Richard in the first game against Switzerland or against Turkey, and we saw we saw Miles Robinson, Mark McKenzie and Walker Zimmerman in the game against Switzerland. But I do think Mark McKenzie will probably start there. I don't know. I don't really have the most confidence in Mark McKenzie. I would be perfectly fine with Tim Ream starting there. I wouldn't be shocked with that. Tim Ream, as we talked before, as captain of the United States under Mauricio Pochettino. But we'll have to wait and see. But I am going to guess that Mark McKenzie came on a sub in the game against Turkey, started the game against Switzerland. So I think he's going to be the starter there. Left back, it can't be Arvston, can it? Again, it can't be Arvston. But this could be one of those things where, like we talked about the goalkeeper situation, that Mauricio Pochettino just has a love affair with Max Arvston at left back, even though he's an optional defender at best. But I am going to slot in John Tolkien because I do think he played a lot better, and the United States had a lot more action down that left side when he came in. So I'm going to have him starting at that left back spot. In central midfield, in these two defensive midfield spots, it all depends if Tyler Adams is healthy, because remember, he pulled out of the game against Switzerland with a foot injury. They said it was minor, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Maybe this is a game where they kind of withdraw him a little bit or bring him on at halftime like we saw in the game against Turkey. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but I am going to have Johnny Cardoso starting there. Again, like we talked about with Matt Turner, with Leon, hopefully pen hit paper before moving to Atletico Madrid, because after that goal that he allowed against Turkey, it'd be a little question marks there. But Johnny Cardoso at club level has played well. We just need to see those performances for the United States, which is something we've always talked about with the United States, is that why are we not replicating club form at international level? I don't know. But Johnny Cardoso will start in there. I'm going to put Luca De La Torre right next to him. One of the better performers in that game against Turkey, so I put him back in there. We didn't see him in the game against Switzerland, but we saw Sebastian Berhalter play at that spot. I could see, again, Tyler Adams starting this game. Maybe we see a double pivot of Adams and Cardoso. Who knows, but I do think Luca De La Torre deserves to have a starting spot in there. On the right, I'm going to put Jack McGlynn in there. We didn't see him come on in the game against Switzerland, which I don't know if that was a thing where it was like, oh, we're just going to try something different here. We want to get all the players on the field or something. Or like, we know he's going to be the starter there, so we're not going to play him in this game or risk him in this game. I don't really know. But again, one of the better performers in the game against Turkey, so I'm going to have him starting there. On the left, I'm going to have Diego Luna there because, again, he's probably, in regards to like fans and all of that stuff, probably the most well-received player within this national league. Tyler Adams definitely has a conversation there. Tyler Adams should be the captain if he's playing and all that stuff, but Diego Luna gives everything, tries hard, does have a little bit of flair in there as well, so I'm going to have him there. Malik Tillman playing as the number 10 kind of just picks itself. If Luna and Tillman, those two guys are going to start up there. And at striker, anybody. You could throw literally anybody on there. Again, it all kind of depends. I would love to see Haji right there. I cannot see Ajimang or Brian White starting up there. Please don't. But again, like we talked about with Arvston, maybe this is one of the situations where we're just going to see him there. But Damian Downs, I think, should be the starter at striker against Trinidad and Tobago in this game. Just try him out. You got him a 15-minute cameo against Switzerland. He played well, given the circumstances. Let's put him in there. So Haji Wright, I would imagine, is going to be in and around. I could see him playing on the right, getting Jack McGlynn out there, maybe play Jack McGlynn a little bit deeper. I don't really know. Again, I have no general feel of what the starting lineup is going to be. I mean, you've lost 4 games in a row, and none of those games really filled anybody with hope for anything moving forward. The only player that I can pretty much lock in as a starter is Diego Luna. That's about it. I wouldn't be shocked if he went any other direction for any other position in this game. I really have no freaking clue of the players, formation, anything like that. And that's scary. That's scary because just a couple of days ago, it was 365 days until the World Cup. This is not the time to be feeling like absolute shit and panicking going into the most important World Cup since '94 for the United States. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. I do think the United States can come away with a 2-0 victory against Trinidad and Tobago in this game. I'm not going to go crazy like we've seen before, like 6-0 games and stuff like that. I'm not going to go that crazy. There's no reason for me to think that the United States could pull something like that off. The defense, you know what? It might be 2-1. It might be 2-1. Again, the defensive organization is not great. 2-0 or 2-1. I do think the United States can score some goals in this game. I'm going to give a goal to Diego Luna, and I'm going to give, you know what? We'll give Damian Downs. We'll give Damian Downs a goal in this one as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, not really the most confident going into this tournament, but hey, it can only go up from here. It literally cannot get worse than what we are experiencing right now. And I hope it just keeps going up until the World Cup and then go on to win the damn thing. Go on to win the... That's not likely. But this is hey, Mauricio Pochettino said the United States is going to be a world power in like 5 years. So, hey, you got to start somewhere. And sometimes starting in the basement is the best way to work your way up because now you're grinding. You know what it's like to struggle. Like, he's sitting there in the locker room like, guys, we know what it's like to struggle. We just lost 4-0, got played off the park against Switzerland. And man, this is where we need to go. We're going to start at the bottom, and we're just going to shoot up like a freaking rocket, and we're going to be the best team in the world. 5 years' time. 5 years' time, I think is what he said. Like, a national superpower. National superpower. So we'll have to wait and see. But I've been Logan Blackman. If you enjoyed the video, that's awesome. If you didn't, I sincerely apologize. Try to be better next time. Make sure to check out all the links down in the description below for all the different social media accounts, podcast, stuff like that. Leave a comment down below. What you feel about the United States men's national team going into this tournament, or your thoughts on the tournament in general. Let me know. Make sure to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Again, if not, I sincerely apologize. Try to be better next time. I've been Logan Blackman, and I will see you guys later. Peace.